I'm Missy, and if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. So as you can see, I'm kind of rocking my New Year's stuff today. That's because it's New Year's Eve, and I'm doing a little filming because I want to talk about the makeup items that were picked for the month of December. These are my final thoughts for them, so that's what video is going to be. I know it looks a little different behind me right now in the background. That's because I'm working on inventorying my makeup, declutters, organizing, and kind of rearranging my space. So it's very chaotic right now, and I apologize if that's a little distracting, but I tried my best to try to center myself here. I'm playing around a little bit too with how I want to film these now. So what I did for the makeup portion, applying the makeup, I filmed it as a short. So it will go up as a short. I may or may not attach it to this video as well, either after this intro or before the intro. I haven't decided fully yet. Obviously, when this goes up, if you see it, I decided where I was going to put it. So I'm playing around with kind of placement and how I want to film the makeup portions for that now. Let me know what you guys think about that. How would you like to see it formed? Okay, so let's just jump right in. First, I will say this is not all of the products that were picked for the lip for December. This is actually one item that was picked for December, and that was the Give Beauty Anaheim line lip liner in Harbor Boulevard. I have that on. So that is one item from December. I do have a little bit of the E.L.F. Cream Guide lip liner in Dark Cocoa, kind of on the outer edges. And I do have the Glamlight Halloween 2 lipstick on, because I had another lip combo on, but it just was too warm for the eyes. So I wanted something a little more neutral and cool tone. So that is the lip combo though. So I did use one item from December. So I'll go ahead and talk about that item. It's not a bad lip liner. It is a wooden pencil lip liner, which is typically not my favorite, but this does glide on very, very easily. I will say that this shade is very, very light, so I tend to use it more as my contouring shade for my lips, and then I kind of fill in with something a little darker, or the lipstick that's a little darker. So but the formula is nice. I don't think this is going to end up staying in my collection. We'll see when I go to do my lip declutters, just because this is the only lip liner I own from the brand, and it's not like a super wowing shade. So we'll see. I may change my mind, because it does do a decent job with contouring my lips. So I'm a little bit on the fence, but you can't really find this brand too much anymore. I think it's just gone away quietly, because I know Sephora kind of stopped selling their stuff. Anything they have left is like highly discounted. I'm not finding them too much at like my Ross, TJ Maxx's, Burlington's too much anymore. So yeah, and that's another reason I don't think I'll end up keeping it in my collection, just for that reason. So, but it is a nice formula. So there's the lip liner. Okay, so let's go back, since I just talked about that one, and I'll talk about the items and how I like to do my makeup, because normally, you know, lip products and all that's last. So I got two primers that were picked this month, and that was because I spun twice, because the first one I got was the E.L.F. Skin Suntouchable Whoa Glow Broad Spectrum 30 SPF Sunscreen. So this is SPF and a primer. This one specifically, the Whoa Glow, is a glowy primer. I did pull the mini in because I do have a full size, and I didn't want to use the full size if I didn't like the product. So since I had a mini, I tried it out first. I do like this product. Like I said, though, I am not purchasing from E.L.F. right now, but I am continuing to use products that I already purchased from them, but I have decluttered quite a few things from them as well. So if you haven't seen, go check out my declutters. I like this. It is a very nice glowy primer. It does kind of give a little bit of evening out of my skin, I've noticed. I've used a decent amount of this. I say, yeah, I'm down to like here now on it. I really like it. You guys know I love a good glowy primer, and this is a good one. Do I have other ones that I like? Yes, and I'll talk about another one here in a minute. And bonus is this has SPF 30 in it, so I don't really have to do primer and my sunscreen. This is like one step. So I do like it for that, and I am going to keep it. Okay, so the other primer that I had the spin wheel go again is because I didn't think that one was good enough for me, but it actually would have been on its own. But I am glad that I did roll this in, and I'll explain why in a minute. So this is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion in 902 Light Glow. I love this primer. This is one of my favorite glowy primers, and this does do a good job of kind of giving you a little bit of evening the skin tone and some coverage, which I really needed for the month of December, because the foundation that was rolled in was the Catrice Trueskin. This is their hydrating foundation, and I got the shade 033 Cool Almond. Now, if you guys watched my tutorial on how I did this look, you will see that I had to mix a little bit of white in it, because this shade is way too dark for me. It's actually very orange on me by itself. There might be, yeah, the video where I have braids, like pigtail braids, I did not, that was the first time I applied this, and I did not add any mixing mediums in it to it, and you can see it looks very orange and too dark on me. So I did mix a little bit of the white LA Girl mixing pigment with it, and it did help a lot today. But I've told you guys before, I really don't want to have to do that. I have enough foundations in my collection that I don't really need to have to sit here and have to do the extra step if I don't want to. But I will say that if, you know, you have this shade and you and I are similar in our skin tone and you want to lighten it up, I used about 1.5 pumps of this and 1 pump of the LA Girl white mixing pigment, and it did a better shade match for me. It's still a slight orangey on me, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was with just using it itself. But because this was like that, the shade did not match me. I had honestly, for the other looks, been just putting the E.L.F. sunscreen Low Glow on, and then using this as the foundation, as like a really light coverage foundation for me, and that was working well. So I'm really glad I rolled this in. Otherwise, I would have had to keep mixing the pigment with that one over and over and over and over, and I don't like to do that. It just takes more time. Okay, but I will say that the formula on this is very nice. It is got a decent amount of coverage. As you guys can see, it covers my redness, it covers spots, all that, but it does not sit heavy. So I may, when I use up my other foundations, if this is still around, I may try to find my actual shade. But yeah, because I do like the way this sits, and it, to me, it's a full coverage foundation. I'm not sure if it is marketed as that. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But it is hydrating, and I've used full coverage hydrating foundations before and didn't like the way it looked on my skin, but this one I do. I think it's very, very nice, does not settle in my fine lines, does not emphasize my texture at all. So formula is very, very nice. It was just me being bad at shade matching. So, like the formula, just needed a better shade. Okay. Like I said, really, really enjoy this. Been using it for years. Very nice, glowy primer, and it gives some evening out of the skin tone. Okay. All right, moving on. Next step for me is typically concealer. So the concealer that was picked was actually the Tarte Creaseless Creamy Concealer in 22 in Light Neutral. And I have the minis because I just recently got this because I wanted to try this formula. Now, I like this formula. I think it's very nice. It does not settle into my fine lines under my eyes, right? But it is not enough coverage for me. I prefer the coverage of the Tarte Shape Tape over this. But if you want something that is not as heavy as the Tarte Shape Tape, you would like this better. This is more of a medium coverage to me. I do have to build it, and I can build it to give a nice under eye. But yeah, I still prefer the full coverage of the Tarte Shape Tape. I need to try I think it's the hydrating version of the Tarte Shape Tape, because I think I have the glowy and the original. And the original is very heavy. But I do think I want to try the hydrating in the Tarte Shape Tape because I think I would like it. But this is a nice formula if you like more of a medium buildable coverage. So, but I do like it. It's just, you know, I'm picky about my concealer. Okay, so then moving on from there, typically what I do is I start with my face creams. So this was rolled in. This is from Revolution Beauty or Makeup Revolution. This is their Ultra Cream Bronzer in Light. So this is actually really nice. I'm really enjoying this. The packaging is very hard to open though, I will say, because I don't have any nails on and I'm like struggling to open it. It needed like a little lip kind of right here to hold on to. But you guys can see I've used a decent amount of this. It is very, very creamy, and you do not need a whole lot of it because a little goes a long way. This shade is a very, very contour shade for me. So if I wanted more of a bronzer shade, I needed to go more with the medium. If you're lighter or fairer than me, you would probably like this. Don't get me wrong, I really like this. I think it does a good job of contouring for me, but it's not a bronzer shade for me, but it is a very nice cream formula. I've been really enjoying it. Okay, so then moving on from there, I usually do my cream blush, and what was chosen for this time was the Colourpop blush stick in Skater Boyz. This is too light for me. I've been trying to make it work. I like really, really have to go in with it too deep to really get the pigment. So I don't think this is going to end up surviving my next declutter specifically for that reason. But I do really like the Colourpop blush sticks formulas. They're one of my favorites. They're very easy to work with. They're very creamy. I've applied them with just a brush. I've applied them directly to the face and blended it out. They work beautifully. I don't know if you can get these anymore. I think Colourpop replaced them with their compact cheek and lip tints, which makes me sad because I like these better. And I think they replaced with their liquid blushes too. I do like the liquid blushes, but these are my favorite of their blush formulas. But that shade, too light for me. Okay, so then I applied my highlighter. I'm losing my voice, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to I'm going to talk about the highlighter, and then I'm going to have to go get a water because I'm getting raspy. So then I applied my highlighter, and this is from Revolution Beauty or Makeup Revolution. I think this is the Revolution Pro line. This is their Goddess Glow Cream Highlighter in the shade Aglow. Okay, I like these ones that have the lockable end and the bigger puff, but I'm starting to not enjoy the puffs in general. They're so messy that no matter what you do, you kind of get it all over the applicator. And I feel like I go through this product very quickly compared to like a liquid doe foot, because I'm all ready to here with this product. So yeah, it is a very nice shade. It is one of those that's like an everyday shade for me. You guys can see it's just a nice little glow there. I do have some powder highlight over top, but you guys can see in the short it gives a nice glow to the skin. So I do like the shade. The formula is not bad. It's pretty blendable. Don't really have anything to complain about that. It's just these packaging, I'm just not a fan. I prefer doe foot. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get a water, and I'll be right back to talk about the rest of the products. All right, guys, I am back. Sorry about that. I've just been losing my voice lately, like sinus drainages and stuff. Moving on, though. So usually where I go from there is when I finish my creams and I start my powder face products. So we'll start with the bronzer. And the bronzer that was rolled in is from Palace Identity. This is their Blossom Contour in the shade 01 Warm Gold. I got this in an Ice Cream Beauty box. It's so pretty. I mean, the packaging itself is just gorgeous. The inside is gorgeous. The compact feels very like heavy, but not so heavy that it's hard to hold, but it feels luxe, you know? I love this. This is one of my favorite bronzers in my collection. Now, this is not a super warm bronzer on me, even though it is called Warm Gold. This is more of a natural, everyday bronzer for me, which is really why I like it, because I don't really have to think about it. It's super blendable. You can layer and layer and layer and layer, and it doesn't get super patchy or too dark or anything. It's very, very nice. I may look to see if they have a darker shade than this one, but I don't know. They might not. But I do really, really enjoy this one for a natural, everyday bronzer look. Okay, and then I apply my powder blush. So I had two options for that, and one is the single product and one is the face palette that was chosen. So the face palette is from One Size Beauty. It's their Cheek Clapper 3D Blush Trio, and it is Attention Seeker. So this is nice. This is their trio where you get a cream blush. This is their trio where you get a cream blush, a powder blush, and then like a glowy blush topper slash highlighter. I've used this quite a bit. I haven't used the cream as much, but I have used it a couple times. The only thing I don't like, and I just noticed it, is I'm starting to get some white specks in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, right there. I don't like that. That's usually mold. Alright, well, I was enjoying it. That kind of makes me sad. But I have used the powder and the like highlighter blush topper quite a lot. These are very, very pigmented, so you do not go heavy-handed into this. You will regret it if you do. Definitely tap in once, tap off the brush, and then go in with it. Unless you like a super pow pigment in your face, lots of blush, then you'll like it. But I am very upset that I'm seeing that those white spots all over there. You guys let me know. I've never had anything grow mold in my makeup collection before, but that definitely kind of looks like it. You guys let me know. Do you think that's what it is, or is it just bubbling? Okay, but very nice formula, just very, very pigmented, and have to go light-handed in it. The Tarte powder blushes. So Tarte has always been very subtle makeup to me, right? I mean, honestly, very boring, but I liked it for that when I didn't want to have to think about a look, for an everyday look, right? These blushes, though, were part of, I think, last year or the year before's holiday collection, and these are very pigmented. This is the shade Indulgence. I have to go light-handed into this because if I don't, it is too pigmented for me. So, but it is a very nice formula, and it does blend out pretty easy. And I really enjoy this shade. I think it's very pretty. So I am glad that they're adding like more pigment to their blushes at least. Okay, moving on, we have highlighter. So I showed you the pinky highlighter slash blush topper in the face palette, but the single highlighter was from Colourpop, and it's their Twilight collection, and it's the Supershock highlighter in the shade Meadow. This is such a pretty highlighter. I have it on my cheeks today along with the One Size one. I'm going to swatch it a little bit here for you. So this has sparkle in it, right? It's a pink sparkly highlighter. You see like some kind of like gold pearl pink in there. Normally I hate glittery highlighters, but this is one that's very smooth. So I'm not getting like chunks of glitter on my face or anything. You guys can see. It just sits real nice on the skin. And I really, really like it. So, yeah, it's definitely staying in my collection. And I like the other one in that collection as well. And I've always liked the Colourpop Supershock formulas. So, yeah, like that one. Okay, so after all those powders, then what I tend to do is I will do my setting powders. So I've really been enjoying this one that I've just been pulling in from Catrice for under my eyes. It's their pink powder. Really, really like it. Talked about it several times. So this is new to my collection. This is from, it's either Rodial or Rodial. I don't know how you say it. It's R-O-D-I-A-L. I got this in my last Ipsy icon box, or just my Ipsy, I don't know if it was the icon, which is now the ultimate, or if it was in my BoxyCharm, which is now the extra. It was one of those two. So this stinks. You open it up, it's starting to not smell as bad now, but the first several times I used it, it smelled like sweat and stinky feet. It's dissipated a lot now from smelling like that. Now it just kind of smells like a baby powder talc smell. But yeah, I was very concerned when I was applying it to my face, because I was like, is this from a really bad batch? And I went and I looked on Ipsy's reviews, and I'm not the only one that got one like this. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I think some of us just got a bad batch. So yeah, but it works really nice. It's a very nice powder. It does not sit heavy, and it does give like a slight glow to the skin, because it's supposed to be like a glass powder, I think is a good name for it. But it does a good job of smoothing, sits nice. I don't think it does super well for longevity though. It's not very oil controlling, but I don't think it claims to be. I'm not 100% on that though. But yeah, the smell though was awful. Okay, so moving on from there, to set my face from the powders, usually what I'll do is I will go in with my MAC Fix Plus, and this I use as a finishing spray to kind of help all my powders melt together and look nice. I do want to try the One Size Powder Melt because I've been hearing good things about that one. But this is like my 4th MAC Fix Plus, and you guys can see I'm getting very low. This is like a staple in my collection, but I do want to try some other ones, specifically fixing sprays. So let me know if there are any you guys recommend. So this was rolled in. This is not a setting spray, so I did roll again for an actual setting spray, and I got the Urban Decay All-Nighter Hyaluronic Acid plus Watermelon Fruit Extract. I like the original Urban Decay All-Nighter. I use that one anytime I want my makeup to last all day, which now I will have to buy from Scandinavia because they Urban Decay parted ways with Scandinavia, and Scandinavia has the original formula. This one I do not like. First of all, the sprayer is horrible. It is very sporadic and like spurts all over your face. Second, I don't feel like this lasts at all. So I don't know if this was like another formula that they did that didn't have the Scandinavia formula, because it definitely does not last. I mean, I know it says all day wear, long lasting, but no, it doesn't. I don't like this one. So this one is definitely going to be passed along. Okay. So from there, let's talk about brows, because I skipped over those because I usually do that before I do my face makeup. So the items that were chosen were the LA Girl Brow Bestie in black brown for the pencil, and then the Catrice Superglue Brow Styling Gel. I have those on today. The LA Girl Brow Bestie used to be one of my favorite pencils. I have slowly been switching over to enjoying the precision tip or nano tip pencils more, because I have more control instead of these like kind of slanted angled ones. Now don't get me wrong, I still like these, but I feel like this one is very dry compared to my Essence one. So I have been having a little bit of trouble working with it, and I think for that reason this is probably not going to last through my next declutter. Sad, because I did really enjoy this when I first got it. I don't know, maybe it's just getting old. Maybe that's the issue. But yeah. This is why I like doing these videos, because things that used to be some of my favorites have become ones that I'm not a fan of anymore. So it's interesting how your preferences can change. The Catrice Cosmetics Superglue Brow Styling Gel. This is a very long-lasting, very firm gel, but it's not firm like the Melt Brow Gel or the E.L.F. Laminating Brow Gel. Those you can feel. This one you don't. This one, when I first used it, I thought it was going to be like that, and I did not like it. But the more I use it, the more I like it. But it's still not my perfect brow gel. My perfect brow gel so far has been the the Beauty Crop Brow Friends Forever, and the Essence in the I think it's the pink tube. Those two have been my favorite so far because they're not heavy, they're not stiff, but they hold throughout the day. But this is not a bad brow gel. I do really like it. I did change my mind about it because I'm pretty sure in my full face of Catrice I did not like this, which I still have to put that up, guys. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so that's the brow products. Let's get into eyes, and then we'll go from there to lip care. Okay, so the eye primer that was chosen is from Glamlight. This is their Eye-cing eyeshadow base. I have the shade Buttercream. I don't think they carry this anymore. It shows up when you search for it on their website, but they haven't stocked it in forever, which I hate that because this is actually a really, really nice primer. I really enjoy this primer. It's not super heavy, and it goes a long way. I'm already like, I use this quite a bit, so I'm already down to here. So I'll be sad when this is gone, since I can't get it anymore, because this is one of my favorite eye primers. Okay, so the single shadow that was chosen is a Colourpop Supershock, no surprise there, and it's the shade Friskie, and I'm wearing it today. It is on my outer corners over top a matte from the Laura Lee Los Angeles palette. I'll show you in a minute. This is a very dark shimmer from Colourpop, which is usually not what I gravitate towards. Typically, Colourpop Supershocks I tend to use more for my halo eyes, which is what I did today, but I'm usually going for the lighter shade in the middle. So I kind of did reverse today. So the dark Supershocks on the outer edge. This is a little hard panned on me, so I may have to try to revive it with some Inglot Duraline, even though I've barely used it. But it is very sparkly, very pretty. But I do have to be careful with it because I can get out of hand quickly since it's a dark shade. Now the palette that was chosen is from Laura Lee Los Angeles, which this brand no longer exists. She did shut it down this past year in 2025. This is the Whimsical Nudes palette. I think this may have been the last palette she released that was not a collab, because I think the technical last palette she released was with Lunar Beauty, the nude palette with Manny. But I think for her brand, this was the last palette, I believe. I like this palette. This palette is so easy to use. I've used every single shade in here. The shimmers are very impactful. I think this is a very good nude shade. I think this is a very good fall palette and everyday neutral palette. I do feel like this shade doesn't really go with the rest of it. I am wearing it today specifically paired with that Friskie shade because I felt like that was the only thing I could really pair this with. I know it looks like a black, but it's more of like a very deep navy shade bordering on black. It is very, very pigmented, so I did have to be careful with it. It was a little harder to blend than the other mattes in here. All the other mattes in here I love. They were super blendable, super easy to use. This shade right here I use to set my lid. I also use it to help blend out all the other shades. These shimmers are very impactful. I did like a warm look with these three. I did like a kind of pinky look with this one. I did a green look with these, and I've loved every single eye look I did with it. I even enjoyed the one I did today. I wanted to do something a little vampy, a little smoky, so that's exactly what I achieved. I don't tend to do that too much because it does make my eyes look smaller. Where I have hooded eyes, I do tend to like to make my eyes look bigger and brighter. But I really like this palette. I'm glad I have it in my collection. I do think the formula is very nice, and I am sad that she's not making makeup anymore. Alright, so moving on, eye product wise, we have a couple things here. We have some mascara and eyeliner, and then we'll get into lip products. So I'm wearing the eyeliner today that was chosen from Colourpop. This is Outer Space. This is a metallic blue. I'm wearing it in my waterline and on the lower lash line, and I kind of smudged it out. I love the Colourpop cream gel liners. They're one of my favorites. They don't bother me. My eyes don't water as much when I use their products. I tend to like lighter shades in my waterline, but when I do a smoky look, I mean, if you're looking for a dark blue for the waterline, this is very nice. You guys can see it is super impactful. It almost looks black in the waterline. But it went really nice with the color combo that I wanted to do. And I like it. I enjoy it. Okay. So another eyeliner that was chosen is a liquid eyeliner because I've been trying to use my liquid eyeliner. And this is the E.L.F. I think it's their brush tip eyeliner in jet black. So I have it across my lash line. I bought this type because I follow a couple of content creators that have hooded eyes, and they do specifically hooded eye techniques. And one of the ones I watch, I cannot remember her name, I apologize, uses this a lot because she says it's easier for hooded eyes. Now, I did use it across the lash line and it did glide on very quickly. I will say it is a little too liquidy, so I have to be careful not to move my eyes very much when I first apply it so it doesn't smudge to my lid. That's the only thing I will say about it. I still have not tried to do a wing with it off camera. I'm not doing liquid wings on camera because I'm not good at that. So I've been trying to learn off camera. But I do want to try that. I do feel like this is drying out though. So there's that. But it's just, again, I'm not someone who uses a lot of liquid liners. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I feel like this is just kind of an okay liner. I don't think it's a wowing eyeliner. Okay. So mascara that was chosen was from E.L.F. as well. And I just got this not that long ago. Is their Incredicurl in deep brown. I typically like E.L.F. mascaras. Like I like their Lash and Roll. I like their Extender. I think that's the two I like. I do not like this one. So this, I thought, okay, Incredicurl, it's going to give me some curly lashes, you know, and I got it in brown because I already had a bunch of black mascara. First of all, I don't like the wand. It's this like weird angled curve. Second, the formula is so thick in here that it's very hard to apply. No matter how much I sit here and scrape and scrape and scrape off, it still manages to leave clumps on my lashes. I do not like this lash mascara, and I definitely would not repurchase this at all. This is one of the worst mascaras I've ever used. I have it on the lower lash line, but like you can see, I got a little clump there. I tried to clean it up a little bit, but yeah, no, definitely not a favorite. So since I have not been liking that, I've been going in instead with the KVD full sleeve mascara. I subbed this in place of it. I love this. This has quickly become one of my favorites. I think it does a good job of lengthening, giving me some volume, and I like the wand. This is definitely a front runner alongside my Charmacy Milano. It's actually kind of pulling ahead of the Charmacy Milano because I like the wand on this one better. Alright, so that was just kind of a little extra product there. So let's move on, and the last couple things are, oh, I'm sorry, I have one more eyeliner, and I really can't say anything about this because I've kept forgetting to use it. So this is from Melt and their Bailey Sarian collab. This is their Ultra Matte Gel Liner in Scarlet, which is a red shade, like a very deep blood red shade. I have used these liners before in a different color, and they are very easy to use, very nice to apply with a brush. I don't really have a problem with the formula, but I specifically kept forgetting to use this, so I apologize. So it kind of tells me that I really am just not an eyeliner person. Lace that type. Okay, now let's move on to lip products. So we have the skincare part, which is the lip scrub and the lip mask. So the lip scrub is from Colourpop, and it's their Matcha Love. This one really didn't have too much of a scent, and this one was easier to open than the Coco Loco one. The Coco Loco one was like very, very hard to open. Now don't get me wrong, this one is a little hard to open too. Yeah, I'm struggling with it right now. There we go. But this is what it looks like. Again, I'm getting ready to do my lip scrub declutter, and I can tell you right now, there's going to be a lot that leave that collection. I don't like a gel or a liquid lip scrub. I prefer a dry lip scrub, specifically a formula like the Jeffree Star lip scrubs. I no longer buy from that brand, and I don't think he even sells them anymore. So I need a replacement because it's my favorite for exfoliating my lips. So if you guys know of anybody or any brands that sell anything like that, let me know, please, in the comments down below. So yeah, this is a no for me. The lip mask, though, I got in a Catrice advent calendar last year, I believe it was. And it's their hydrating lip mask. And it's this cute little, like, pink and red swirl. And it smells very, like, light vanilla-y. It does a good job of hydrating. And this is going to last me for a while. Honestly, because I've been using it like crazy. It does leave a little bit of a tint, so there is that if you're wanting something that does not leave a tint, but yeah, I like it. I think it does a good job of moisturizing, hydrating my lips. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Okay, so we are down to the last couple items, and it's all lip products. So I already talked to you about the lip liner from Give Beauty. So the other lip liner that was chosen is from NYX, and this is their Line Loud lip liner in the shade Haughty Hijacker. I've been trying to make this shade work. This is that like fuchsia pink shade. I had this on earlier, and I tried to pair it with the liquid lipstick. I did not like it. I've tried a couple times. I paired it with the lipstick as well, and it was okay with that, but I'm not a fan of this shade on myself. So yeah, the formula is nice. I love the formula of the Shine Loud lip liners, but I don't like this color. Just not for me. Okay, so the lipsticks that were chosen is a Breakfast Club Physicians Formula one. This is the shade Get Real. I actually just now found the shades on the back of it because I've just been calling them Pinky Nude, Nude, and Peachy Nude. But this is the pinky color, and it's called Get Real. I really like this formula. It's very nice. The packaging is very, very cheap, though. I do not feel like they really did the Breakfast Club justice with this collab. The formulas are nice, but the packaging is so cheap. So yeah, but I do like it. I do enjoy it. Alright, moving on. The other lipstick that was chosen is a liquid lipstick, and this is from Black Moon. I love Black Moon's liquid lipstick formula. This is the shade Abyss, and this is like a deep, dark, kind of berry purple shade. I do think mine might be drying out, though, because I did have a little trouble applying it, and it was being a little patchy on me, which I normally do not have that problem with Black Moon, even with their dark shades. So, yeah, I'm going to have to play around with this a little more, because this is the only time I've applied it other than, like, the first time I bought it, which was a while ago. So yeah, there is that. I mean, it doesn't look dry or anything, but we'll see. But the shade is nice on me as long as I can get it to not be patchy. But yeah, I love Black Moon's liquid lipsticks. And the last item is a gloss, and it is from Unearthly. And Unearthly actually has some of my favorite lip glosses aside from Glamlight. Unearthly has my favorite sparkly glosses because these glosses are just gorgeous. This is the shade Sweetness. I got this in an advent calendar, and it's this very gorgeous, like, pinky, glittery shade. So pretty. Love it. And I like their old packaging. I like the fact that it's flatter too. Their new packaging is more slanted and I can't stand them up. That annoys me. And I thought this was cute, you know? I don't know. But I mean, I came from the 80s generation with the batons that had this kind of stuff in it. But yeah, that is my thoughts on all the items that were picked for December. A lot of good products this time. Couple that were not my favorite. But yeah, I would say probably my worst would definitely be the Incredicurl mascara from E.L.F. And my best, oh, my best, I would probably say so many good ones, but I'm going to say the eyeshadow palette because I was quite surprised at how nice the formula was, and I'm kind of sad I did not try this brand sooner. But yeah, that is my thoughts on everything. Stay tuned. The spin wheel will go up picking the items for January, so I'm going to film that next. I'm excited to see what's going to be picked. Stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be changing some things around, adding some things, maybe changing how I film a couple things. So let me know in the comments down below if there's anything you would like to see from me coming up on my channel. I'm always open to ideas. Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, if you would, please take a moment, like and subscribe down below. Really helps me out, and I would appreciate it. Until next time, guys. Bye.